Hi everyone and welcome to my studio. It's one of the coldest days that I've ever known here in Brittany today, with a temperature of -11. Very unusual for this part of the world. The last time I remember it being this cold, I was living in Alberta, in Calgary. And there, cold weather is a thing that you have to learn to live with, or leave. Anyhow, now I'm in France and this is the view from my studio, and you can just see Blaise walking across the field of view there. Blaise is our handsome Jacob's ram who's fathered our lambs each year for the last couple of years. He doesn't seem to mind the bad weather. Apparently he slept out in the cold all last night. More fool him is what I would say. Anyhow, what I'm planning to do today is to show you some of the things that I use in the studio to create the paintings, which I show you how to do on the YouTube videos that I'm putting up. And I hope that that will interest some of you. And also to mention, by the way, that our new website at dianeantonestudio.com is now fully operational, thanks to my daughter Tamzin's really hard work over the last few weeks. And we're offering everyone who goes there and purchases a 15% discount if you use the code which is in the description underneath this video. So if you'd like to do that, that would be great. We'd love to see you there. It's dianeantonestudio.com. And now, without any further ado, I will, in no particular order, show you the things I use to make my paintings. So in no particular order of importance, here we go. On my desk, I have the following things. A large spray bottle. This is the sort of thing you use in the garden. I use it for wetting my paints when they've dried out prior to starting a session. I find that does the trick much better than one of these silly little bottles, and an awful lot better than trying to scrub at the paints with a brush. This way you don't damage your brushes. Cool. I also have a nice little basket here of sponges, and these aren't for cleaning or for bathing or anything like that. These are for making textures. You know how a lot of people throw a lot of salt on their paintings to create textures? Another way of doing it is to use a sponge. You can see how it's a bit like printing, so you just dab with that. That is one way of creating texture. On the same sort of tack, I have these. This is a feather, as you can see, not for painting, but for drawing with, scratching using the end. This is a stick. I use it for scratching. Very good for scratching twigs. Here's another one. This is an old paintbrush that I broke into pieces, and I use that as well for scratching into the surface of the paper. And as well, I have a no longer useful bank card, which I've cut into pieces of different widths, and I can use those also for scratching out. They're very useful for scratching out rocks and for putting the markings on things like birch trees. Excellent. I will show you how to do that at some point in the not too distant future. I have rolls of masking tape, 2 widths. That's for taping down your paper if you don't stretch it. I use a big, huge, humongous jar of water. That's I think it's a 2-litre Kilner jar, because that way it stays clean longer. No harm in having a nice big jar. I have a Spontex sponge cut in half, which I put on a little dish like this, and I use that for wiping off my brush, just to take off any surplus water. Some people use paper towel. I use this, and I find that that works really quite well. And when I need to quickly grab something that is going to take up a lot of water for me, then I use my terry toweling what did I decide to call this? A painting boa. Yes, it's kitchen boa, but I've repurposed it for the studio. So there we are. That's that. This is a handy little thing. It looks to me like it might be Chinese or Japanese, and I don't know where it came from, but it costs £1.50, and it's for propping up your brush. So I'll move that out of the way, and it keeps the business end of the brush off of the table. So if it's mucky because you've got paint on it and you want to quickly put it down and not waste that paint, because sometimes you're going to come back to that brush, even if it has to take a rest. So you rest it there. So that's really cool, quite handy. I have got this container, a wooden bamboo vase thing, which seems to be a good place to keep my Hake brushes. I need to get some more of these because, unfortunately, same as Ron himself, this one has come to the end of its life. The Ron Ranson Hake by Pro Art, coming to pieces, guys, coming to pieces. Yeah, I think that's really past redemption. But I have two others. These are very good for dry brush technique or for painting a la Ron Ranson, which is always good fun. This was the first Hake I bought. It's also the same thing by Pro Art. And I got so frustrated with the bristles, which I couldn't make them do anything. I attacked them with a pair of scissors, and that was the result. It didn't improve things. It's good for dusting off when I've been rubbing something out. It's quite handy for that. I don't paint with that one anymore. I've got my these things, these Isabey squirrel hair mop brushes. Everyone should have one of these. Not really to paint with, but to use for a photographic prop if you should wish to take a photo of your work. They're very scenic. They can be a bit frustrating. They hold such a lot of water. A bit uncontrollable, but anyway, fun. And then in the same vein, I have a bamboo pen here. This is a dip pen made from piece bamboo. My daughter said, you know what, we've got loads of bamboo canes in the shed. Why don't we make some more of those? I can just cut them up. I think she was thinking if she cut up all the bamboo canes, she wouldn't have to grow runner beans this year. But that's not fair. Anyway, this is made by Holbein of Japan, of all things. And that's quite good for the scratching out and for doing calligraphy. What else? I have a set of pencils. These are Rexel Cumberland Derwent graphic pencils. They're quite nice, good quality graphite pencils of different hardnesses and softnesses. And in a box which came from somewhere. I don't know. Isn't it funny how we acquire things over the years? And you look back and you think, well, who the hell gave me that? Or where did that come from? I have no idea. And here we have another box of tricks. These are palette knives, which I've stolen from my oil painting kit. They are useful for shifting areas of paint around. If I have some paint in a palette that I want to move, I can just scoop it up with that. They're useful for scratching out. There's lots of things you can use to scratch out. It's amazing how many different ways of scratching there are. Yeah, anyway, I just like them. Then there's my toothbrush. Yes, that's my favourite one. I think it's Boots Best. Makes a nice spatter. This one came my way a while ago. It's for dentures, and that's quite nice too. It has two options, very short and stiff, a bit longer and softer. That has yet to be fully explored. Here's a child's brush. This is useful. Astrid donated this, whoever Astrid was. This is useful, I find, for glue or, you know, generally rough stuff. So not really for painting. I also have a little pot here with lots of different coloured pencils and pastel pencils and so on. Sometimes these are useful for highlights and darks and things. There's a nice big fat dark one there. So this is a cool thing. Oops. This is a propelling pencil, the thickness of which is barely believable. Look at that, great big thick lead. That's fantastic, that is, for drawing. Really fun. And then there are my brushes. Mop brush for wetting the paper. A size 18 flat. These are my current round brushes that I'm using by Drawwell. They're from Japan. I don't think you can buy them here. I had them sent from Japan because somebody in New Zealand had sold me some and I liked them so much. I went all the way, no I didn't go to Japan. I went all the way as far as emailing the people in Japan and they sent me a box of them. So you could do the same thing. Drawwell, they are called, handmade in Japan. Not expensive actually, really cheap. And I've got lots of them, different sizes. However, before very long, I'm going to have to either replace or renew them. Okay, so those are those. What else? This is really important. This is a Signo gel pen, white. That's what you use to put the light back in a bird or animal's eye when you have lost it. And it does happen. In fact, it happens a lot. And this is also for adding interest and highlights to various things at various times on various occasions. Very useful. And as well as the white one, of course, I've got my Staedtler pigment liners. I've got a set of different sizes and I use those quite a lot for, I don't know, when I'm doing birds and things like that, you often need to do some fine lines. So that's that. What else? Oh, these are my Staedtler Karat Aquarelle watercolor pencils, which dissolve when they hit the water. Excellent for making an impact on your painting. I don't think there's anything else that does that trick. So that's a good thing too. And so I always keep a big pot of, this is toilet paper, keep that handy for, you know, drying brushes and for soaking up excess water on your painting. You need plenty of that. You can use toilet roll, you can use tissues, you can use kitchen roll, but that's quite good stuff. And I think that's about it. As a lot of the people who watch my videos are beginners or improvers, and I know some of you might not have the things that you need to do the videos with, I am putting in the description underneath the video affiliate links to all of the things that I can find on Amazon that you might want to add to your kit. So if you care to use those affiliate links, it does help the channel just a little bit. We get a very small commission, which would be greatly appreciated if you click through from there. That's very, very helpful indeed. So thank you in advance. Thanks for being with me on my quick trip through my implements, and I will see you again soon. Bye for now. Bye-bye.